Hello, I'm Sean Servas at FEMA headquarters, and today we're going to go over Module 4, Creating an Application. Many of you joined us for Module 3, which was Sub-Application Review. So today we're going to go over Module 4 on what you would need to do to attach those reviewed sub-applications to your grant application. At the end of this module, you'll be able to identify the purpose of an application, explain how to create an application, and recognize the sections and fields that are different than in the legacy mitigation e-grant system. Local communities are not able to apply directly to FEMA for federal funds in the Hazard Mitigation Assistance Non-Disaster Grant Programs, BRIC and FMA. Only states, tribes, and territories can be direct grant recipients, according to the Stafford Act. Each year, the applicant bundles one or more sub-applications into a grant application and submits it to FEMA. The application is like an envelope. The state, tribe, or territory uses the envelope to fill with sub-applications and send the whole package to FEMA. When a sub-application is approved by FEMA, the funds pass through the applicant, who is referred to as the grant recipient, to the sub-applicant, who is then referred to as the grant subrecipient. To start creating a Building Resilient Infrastructures and Communities or Flood Mitigation Assistance grant application, look for the current fiscal year BRIC or FMA funding opportunity on your FEMA GO home screen. Click the Start Application link. Don't get confused by the link for the hazard mitigation sub-application. After you click on the Start Application link, you'll be taken to the application initiation page, and you'll be able to start your application. Once you start the grant application, the first section that you'll be presented with is the sub-applications. The sidebar menu shows all the sections of a grant application. The sub-applications link appears at the top, like I mentioned. Since you will review and attach them after you create an application, we will talk about them in the next module. And this module will focus on the application sections you will need to complete. That most of the information collected in the FEMA GO system is the same as the legacy mitigation e-grant system. There are a few differences. There is a new mitigation plan section. Also, the assurances and certification forms are automatically generated, so you don't need to attach your standard Form 424 family of forms. The first two sections of a grant application are the applicant information and contact information sections. They provide FEMA with the basic information about the grant applicant. Most of the data in the applicant information section is automatically populated from the system for award management. You'll need to select your type of applicant from the drop-down menu. If you select Indian Tribal Government, a text field will appear. It'll ask for your tribal government ID, which is also your DUNS number. The applicant information screen asks whether your state requires the Executive Order 12372 review, which is not applicable to tribes. It also has a question about whether your organization is delinquent on any federal debt. There's a new question that asks if anyone else has been involved in the development of the application. If you select yes, you will need to enter the contact information for each of them and a general point of contact for the application. FEMA will contact this person if a revision is required or for answers to other questions. The Mitigation Plan section is a new feature in the Building Resilient Infrastructures and Communities grant application form. According to 44 CFR 201, the the purpose of mitigation planning is for state, local, and Indian tribal governments to identify the natural hazards that impact them, to identify actions and activities to reduce any losses from those hazards, and to establish a coordinated process to implement the plan, taking advantage of a wide range of resources. If your organization has a current hazard mitigation plan, you will click Yes and select the Enter Plan Details button to enter the plan information. Your FEMA plan approval letter is useful documentation. However, it is not necessary to attach your current hazard mitigation plan to the grant application. In the comments section, it is a good idea to describe how the proposed mitigation activities, as described in the sub-applications, align with your organization's hazard mitigation plan. If your organization is creating a new hazard mitigation plan or updating an expired plan, you'll click No. So let's take a minute to review what we've covered. By now, you should be able to identify the purpose of an application, explain how to create an application, recognize the fields that are different from the legacy mitigation e-grant system. Here's some resources that will be helpful if you want a refresher on what we've covered today. They include the FEMA GO user manual for grant applicants, and there's also one available for sub-applicants. There's a FEMA GO help desk, which is femago@fema.dhs.gov, and they have a toll-free number for technical support. And if you want to know more about the FEMA BRIC program, you can always go to fema.gov/BRIC. So thank you for joining us, and I hope you can join us again for Module 5, Attaching and Ranking Sub-Applications. Thank you.